There are certain things in this world that can cause harm to yourself or those around you. The Stoics spoke upon these actions and people, and how they can ruin your life or certainly make it worse. Toxic traits that one does or toxic people that you hang around are not recommended according to Stoicism. That's why in today's video we talk upon 15 things that you should quietly remove from your life if you want to make improvements. Before we start, you may be asking, why do we need to quietly remove these things? The reason for this is because the Stoics emphasized living in harmony with nature and fate. Making a lot of noise and drama around trying to change things is often an indication that you are struggling against the way things are. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What is divine deserves our respect because it is good. What is human deserves our affection because it is like us." Now we will dive into the 15 things you need to quietly remove immediately. Number 1. Toxic people who bring you down. We've all dealt with people in our lives who leave us feeling diminished, judged, stressed, or upset after interacting with them. The ancient Stoics were quite direct about minimizing contact with people they called sick souls, chronically negative personalities who drain our energy and erode our self-worth. While the Stoics advised tolerance of difficult people when completely unavoidable, they also stressed the priority of limiting your exposure to friends or relatives who routinely criticize you, treat you disrespectfully, or manipulate your emotions without remorse. Quietly take steps to reduce the frequency of contact and set firm boundaries around how much access you grant them to your time and attention. Be cordial when required at group events, but otherwise politely decline requests to connect more vulnerably one-on-one. Redirect that time and energy you'd spend emotionally recovering from their complaining or drama toward relationships that make you feel uplifted, accepted, and at peace with yourself. Your overall well-being depends far more on the company you keep. With toxic people reduced in your inner circle, you create space for supportive friends, mentors, or partners to enter your life instead. People who appreciate your strengths and help buffer you from the world's harshness. Eliminate the sources of unnecessary darkness. Your light will shine that much brighter. Number 2. Unnecessary material possessions. The ancient Stoics lived simply, emphasizing that too many material possessions can become burdensome distractions from what really matters. We end up spending time and money maintaining and managing stuff while getting little enjoyment from it. They would urge us to take a good hard look at convenience items, clothes, gadgets, and knickknacks we've accumulated out of habit, but that no longer serve us. Consider donating gently used goods to charity. Sell vintage items collectors might appreciate. Repurpose odds and ends for arts and crafts. Recycle whatever remains useful components. This process of quietly culling the inessential creates both physical and mental space. With less clutter vying for attention, we gain the freedom to focus on people, activities, and values that profoundly nourish us. The Stoics remind us that surrounding ourselves with unnecessary things breeds attachment and makes it harder to weather life's unpredictability. Imagine calmly coping if you suddenly had to relocate cities or had personal items destroyed in a fire. Simplifying externally reflects and supports inner resilience where it matters most. You reclaim the clarity to know what you genuinely need versus mindlessly consume for distraction or status. In eliminating superficial excess, you uncover the truly essential. Number 3. Comparisons to others. It's a natural tendency to compare ourselves to others who seem to have it all. Better jobs, relationships, homes, travel adventures, talents, or beauty by society's standards. But the Stoics warn this pathway leads only to envy, frustration, and persistent dissatisfaction with our own lives. We end up inventing an idealized standard for happiness that shrinks our gratitude for what we do have. Catch yourself when you automatically contrast your career, social media presence, fitness level, accomplishments, or family life with peers or even celebrities flaunting an excess of what you feel deprived of. Quietly unfollow accounts that fuel feelings of inadequacy without adding substantively to your days. Disconnect from conversations dwelling enviously on advantages others obtain through luck more than merit. The Stoics advise consciously refocusing attention instead on all the privileges and blessings in your life compared to the vast majority of humanity just trying to survive. Feel empathy for those dealing with genuine scarcity and suffering, rather than covetousness for those enjoying abundance you lack. Water your own grass through self-care practices, relationship building, and pursuing excellence by your values. Realizing how much randomness, family wealth, and privilege enabled others' shiny veneers can dissolve misplaced jealousy. Their journey is simply different from your unique path unfolding in its proper time. Define what enough means for your well-being. The only life you should yearn to perfect is your own. Number 4. Dwelling on things outside your control. The Stoics were all about maximizing inner peace by narrowing focus to what's actually in our control. Things like our responses, moral choices, helpful actions toward others, and cultivation of wisdom. They advised against wasting mental energy despairing over external variables we cannot dictate. From political leaders' decisions to strangers' opinions to a partner's feelings changing unexpectedly. When you catch your mind ruminating on outcomes you cannot directly influence, make it a habit to quietly shift attention back to what is in your power in this moment. How you choose to react and conduct yourself with integrity matters far more than whatever prompted your frustration. Release the tight grip of wanting life to unfold differently to meet your preference. Flow with reality as it is, dealing skillfully with circumstances you're empowered to shape. Challenges will still arise, but without magnifying rumination, emotional reactivity lessens along with suffering. Each small act of returning your focus to your own sphere of influence builds the life-changing skill of letting go. Your inner light shines brighter freed from the burden of problems outside your control that once eclipsed your gifts. Align your efforts with the wisdom of focusing only where you have agency. Allow the universe to handle the rest. Number 5. Expectations of others. The Stoics understand no one behaves perfectly reasonable or considerate all the time. People inevitably act in their own self-interest, make mistakes, break promises, change their minds, or fail to meet our hopes. Yet despite knowing this intellectually, we repeatedly stomach emotional turmoil by expecting loved ones, colleagues, and even strangers to live up to standards in our heads. When teammates don't pull their weight, friends forget important dates, family members criticize our choices, or public figures act without integrity, the Stoics advise against spiraling into resentment. Quietly reflect on why you assumed others would or should conform to your needs or values in the first place given human fallibility. Then consciously revise your expectations to align with realistic imperfections instead of an ideal you project. With a more accurate understanding of human behavior's variability, you free yourself from repeated self-inflicted disappointment when people act like normal, flawed people. You let go of entitlement and misplaced judgment to remain centered. Drop shoulds and oughts around how you erroneously hoped or demanded situations would unfold. Flow with events as they are while controlling your responses. In this way, the Stoics transform our relationships and inner peace. People's shortcomings no longer drag us emotionally down tunnels of frustration. We engage life as it unfolds, not as we wish it would be. Our happiness rests securely within us, not contingent on externals finally meeting our specifications. Number 6. Judging yourself by unrealistic standards. When we expect to effortlessly excel at everything, bounce back from every hardship, never make mistakes, know how to perfectly navigate each unique challenge, or earn others' constant approval, then of course we're bound to fall short much of the time. Catch yourself absorbing ideals of productivity, beauty, material wealth, career success, or social popularity, without context of how much luck, privilege, and advantage enabled those portraying such lifestyles. Temper the habit of comparing your behind-the-scenes reality to their public highlight reels. Quietly reflect on what standards and expectations originate from your own core values versus what societies and systems impose upon you. Do you genuinely wish to spend so much life energy chasing externally defined status at the cost of inner peace? Or have you implicitly absorbed others' demands because separating feels vulnerable? The Stoics remind us we have no obligation to meet unrealistic markers, designed more for institutions to profit from our insecurity than offer us fulfillment. We best serve humanity by nurturing our unique talents, not conforming into cookie-cutter ideals where seeds of greatness get stamped out underfoot. Water your own soul garden. Limit influences tempting self-judgment by unrealistic measures. Tend kindly to exactly where you're growing beautifully in this season of life. Number 7. Fear and anxiety about hypothetical future events. Things like fretting over worst-case health diagnoses when we experience physical symptoms, ruminating on dire economic collapse whenever financial markets dip, or imagining catastrophic climate disasters like famine and displacement we feel helpless to prevent. Though preparing prudently for challenges ahead has its place, the Stoics warn against allowing what-if thinking to rob us of enjoying the present. When you catch your mind spinning speculative doomsday projections not grounded in credible threats happening right now, consciously redirect attention to this current moment. Find the stillness beneath the mental noise. Anchor in your senses. Notice sights, sounds, scents, and other vivid details in your immediate environment that ground you in reality versus abstraction. Shifting focus to the safety of now versus unknown threats ahead triggers your body's relaxation response, escaping amplification of stressful emotions. Each time you quietly eliminate anxiety about hypothetical futures, you reinforce the muscle to return to the peace and stability of today, the only time frame truly in your control. Future problems either never manifest, or they arrive as concrete issues to address effectively using resources you conserved by not wasting them on worry. Manage uncertainties as they develop instead of sending your mind wandering into pits of quicksand. What is here now that you can appreciate or improve? Keep arriving back to this secure ground. Number 8. Regret and guilt over past mistakes. We've all made choices and behaved in ways that let ourselves or others down, failing to uphold the values and conduct we aspire to. But the Stoics advise against allowing regret or guilt to weigh us down for long. Dwelling on the past at the expense of living presently keeps old wounds raw and robs us of joy. When pangs of remorse arise, consciously turn attention to the lessons gleaned rather than flogging yourself endlessly for what cannot be changed. Reflect on what influences or mindsets at the time might explain your actions without excusing them. Consider what a wiser, more mature version of yourself could do differently next time. Then set intentions aligned with your ethics and let go. Self-judgment easily becomes a destructive form of tunnel vision that obscures all the good still ahead. The Stoics encourage quietly replacing guilt with living amends over time. Forgive your all-too-human past self with the same compassion you'd offer a friend. Then redirect energy spent mentally atoning into concrete positive efforts like improving communication in strained relationships or volunteering to help those in need. Ruminating on former faults rarely heals regret. Demonstrating genuine personal growth does. When we stop persecuting our past, we reconcile within, emerging wiser and more meaningfully connected to others. Our future brightens unburdened by chains weighing us down each step. Number 9. Inflated sense of self-importance or entitlement. It's easy to operate as if we're the main character in the story of life, prioritizing our wants and needs while overlooking how small our roles really are. The Stoics caution against this tendency toward narcissism and entitlement that preoccupies us with minor inconveniences while oblivious to the suffering of most. Catch yourself complaining loudly when the barista messes up your coffee order, or raging internally when a car cuts you off, as if the universe should bend to serve your personal convenience. Check your sense of entitlement beneath the frustration. Do these minor disruptions truly deserve such intense emotional energy? Quietly reflect on all the privilege and luck that had to intersect for you to even have access to luxuries like specialty coffee shops or private vehicles, when most humans on Earth still lack basics like clean water, healthcare, or adequate shelter. Feel into your shared humanity rather than entitled separateness. Regularly count your blessings as a way to deflate self-absorption. Explicitly appreciate devoted friends and family, physical mobility, public parks, reliable technology, democratic rights that many sacrifice their lives to obtain. This habit of shifting focus to your bounty rather than perceived slights subtly transforms how you move through the world. The Stoics urge us to catch ourselves when acting as if we're the exception from the human condition, magically exempt from discomfort, misunderstandings, or inconveniences, and to correct course by rejoining the shared flow of imperfect but sacred life on this planet. Number 10. Reliance on fame, power, or external validation. It's tempting to seek titles, wealth, unlimited leisure, or adoring fans hoping status provides lasting fulfillment. But the Stoics caution that basing your well-being on fickle external conditions guarantees perpetual insecurity. These ultimately offer only temporary ego gratification, before requiring repeat performances to recapture fleeting esteem highs. Catch yourself chasing praise, likes, promotions, or applause to distract from inner unsettledness. Consider whether ambition serves your core values or shields you from facing life's ordinary messiness. Recognize how the privileged few capturing outsized public validation depend on vast masses feeling inadequate by comparison. Quietly reflect on what your life would look and feel like, without manufactured wants constantly screaming for more. If you had nothing to prove to anyone and nowhere to urgently rush toward for importance. You had nothing to do except enjoy time with loved ones, express creativity freely, help neighbors, and rest peacefully under the stars. From this place of already having everything you need, fame and power appeal much less. External validation matters less than nurturing your highest integrity. Appreciate supportive community without requiring millions follow your life. Find fulfillment in anonymity by filling ordinary days meaningfully rather than grasping after extraordinary. Number 11. Reacting emotionally rather than rationally. When you feel sudden anger flare up, refrain from lashing out words you'll later regret. Instead, quietly take some deep breaths, go for a short walk, or drink some water to create space for the intensity to lessen. Feel the feelings, but respond only once they've peaked in intensity, and perspective widens again. Similarly, refrain from firing back defensive emails when criticized or making expensive impulse purchases to soothe sadness. Apply the healing balm of time before reacting. Pain shared in reactive ways usually only breeds more reactivity, locking us in escalating conflict cycles while our real needs go unaddressed. Allow the initial swell of emotions to fully crest within the container of patient self-awareness. Then, from this place of acknowledging yet gently rising above subjective reactions, make rational decisions aligned with your deeply held values and interests rather than what chaotic feelings dictate in the heat of moments. This process of quietly eliminating rapid-fire reactivity builds wisdom one small uncomfortable pause at a time. But with committed practice, you rewire old habits to respond thoughtfully rather than follow where extremes of anger, fear, and hurt impulse you. Your future will thank you as relationships heal from the inside out. Number 12. Expecting life to be easy or comfortable. Catch entitlement sneaking into prayerful requests for protection from all future suffering as if you deserve special immunity. Notice frustration when best-laid plans get thwarted by external variables. Quietly reflect on why you assumed achievement or stability would unfold smoothly without ups and downs. You are not entitled to comfort while others endure dire conflicts and scarcity. See the perfectionism and control tendencies underlying the fantasy that you can or should mold life into some predictable, smooth ride. Then consciously release the futile grip on reality to flow your way at all times. Instead, say yes to the uncertainty, tragedy, and inconvenient truths that mature us. Ride out what comes knowing calm and wisdom await on the other side. The Stoics promise that by elbowing aside assumptions of continuous comfort, your relationship with life's difficult seasons transforms from pointless cruelty to hidden gift. Your fair-weather happiness stops hostage to the whims of external forces beyond your control. You uncover profound joy both despite and because of the full range of human experience. The honor and privilege of an ephemeral yet miracle existence. Number 13. Trying to control everything. A core tenet of Stoic philosophy is differentiating internals within our control from externals outside it. Yet we exhaust ourselves battling unpredictability by trying to micromanage things like other people's feelings, career opportunities that depend on competition, public reactions to our work, aging parents' health issues, or politicians' unwise decisions. The sheer number of variables that can make a mess of our most prudent plans breeds endless frustration when we deny life's essentially chaotic nature. The Stoics advise releasing the delusion that enough hard work, perfectionism, and foresight can shield us from all accidents, criticism, canceled flights, lost items, missed connections, dead phone batteries, or bad weather. Catch control tendencies flaring up as you meticulously organize your schedule, possessions, and relationships to minimize surprises. Notice anxiety, resentment, or despair emerging when people or situations inevitably defy your systems. Then quietly reflect on the cost of needing certainty versus accepting uncertainty, of mentally fighting reality rather than flowing with it. Repeating this process of catching then surrendering the illusion of total control gradually builds your tolerance for life's curveballs. You let go of wasting precious energy panicking, clinging, or micromanaging. With practice, you organically discover the freedom of embracing impermanence. You relax into handling uncertainties skillfully as they arise without resistance. You uncover peace with the fundamental messiness of this temporary human journey. Number 14. Chasing after shallow pleasures. Notice chasing superficial highs like shopping, snacking, reality TV binging, X-rated films, video games, or gossip as attempts to escape feeling empty inside versus actively nurturing your best self. Be honest about how often craving novel sights and sounds only provides fleeting distractions from inner work. The void soon returns. Quietly reflect on who you become, how you want to spend limited time alive, and the state of the world when you regularly use consumption to distract from spiritual hollowness. Then courageously ask yourself what really matters while you still have days left to live in alignment. The Stoics invite you to eliminate numbing yourself with short-term fixes that undermine long-term character and purpose. Instead, invest energy into self-mastery, ethics, creativity, connection, and world improvement. Trade seeking constant external stimulation for finding fulfillment internally through growth and contribution. Follow pleasures that actually lead you toward your highest nature. Number 15. Beliefs not grounded in reason or virtue. Do you continue certain traditions just because it's always been done without assessing their current merit? Or form positions on political issues through reactionary belonging to a party rather than studying nuanced policy implications? Maybe you make habitual assumptions about different ethnicities, faiths, or economic classes, based more on stereotypes than genuine cross-cultural experiences. The Stoics advise becoming aware of viewpoints you hold more out of identity loyalty than thoughtful analysis. Ideas you defend vehemently despite lacking deeper understanding of multiple valid perspectives on complex problems. They encourage a regular practice of questioning why you believe what you believe. From this humble yet principled place of seeking truth over confirming bias, quietly eliminate the inertia of belief systems not chosen consciously. If certain principles still feel righteous upon reasoned reflection, stand firm regardless what tribes wish your conformity. If new wisdom reveals blindness or dogma in views once held dear, bravely evolve. Either way, honor virtuous truth aligned with universal human dignity over staying comfortable inside your mental echo chambers. If you are listening to this, thank you for staying till the end. If you feel any of these Stoic lessons resonated with you today, feel free to start a Stoic discussion in the comments. I welcome Stoic discussions as they are what the great Stoics like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca advised for. If you enjoy Stoicism and its philosophy, then our new newsletter where you can sign up for in the description or comments is for you. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, and if you want more content like this, subscribe and hit the bell. Thank you for watching, and as always, I hope you find peace and serenity in the Stoic ways.